Good evening, Mr. and Ms. Internet and all our ships at sea. It's Thursday, it's time once again for the world-famous Freeway Forum, coming to you live and direct from the world-famous 405 Freeway in beautiful, sunny Southern California. My name is Atari. This is a free-form discussion hosted by me, but it is driven by you. Yes, you friends. You and your comments are what make this show possible. We're going to have us a little bit of a topic here, and you drop your comments, and we'll have a feedback here in the doobly-doo, and we'll just have ourselves a nice little conversation. Be sure and give us a thumbs up, and share this video with your social media folk, with the Twitters and the Facebooks and what's the other one? The Tumblrs and the Snapchats and the Instagrams, all that good stuff. Get as many people in here as we can so we can have us a rollicking good time. Okay, so I don't know if you remember the show. I never actually finished watching it. I only watched like the first season and a half or so. It's an interesting show. It's very compelling. I just got sidetracked and never finished watching it. But the show's called Lost. It was on ABC, and yes, everybody's seen the ending. I have not seen the ending. No spoilers, please. I would appreciate it, because I haven't seen it. I have ideas of what the ending is, but I know I'm trying to stay away from the spoilers, so please do not spoil it for me. But I have not seen Lost all the way through, anyway. So Lost starts with a plane crash, this catastrophic mid-air malfunction, something, and the plane crashes on this seemingly deserted island. Tomorrow, actually, what's today? The 21st. So the 22nd is supposed to be the day that the plane took off and then crashed. September 22nd. So, in the spirit of Lost, to celebrate this very popular television series that I still haven't watched, I wanted to kind of ask, yes, it's a little bit of a generic question, yes it is, but I'm curious as to the reasoning behind it. I'm curious of the sorts of things that you, they can be fantastic, they can be practical, but whatever. If you were stranded on this desert island, which turned out not to be deserted, if you're on this deserted island in the middle of the South Pacific with a bunch of other crash landing survivors, what sorts of things would you want to have with you? What sorts of equipment? What sorts of novelties? It doesn't matter. It can be, like I said, it can be fantastical. It can be silly. It can be downright practical. Who cares? This is kind of an interesting exercise in justifying your answers. That's really what we're here for. We want to know why you would choose the things that you would choose to have. So there's like the obvious stuff, like, you'd want fuel for a fire, which you could get that. So tools to harvest fuel. So axes, machetes, hatchets, things like that you could harvest wood and or other plant matter for fire fuel. You're probably gonna have, in that sort of environment, you're probably not going to have like good burnable fuel. It's probably gonna need more peat, dung, things like that. So you're probably gonna want a shovel. Quite honestly, everybody says, I want an axe to chop down a tree, but the tree is green. It's gonna be hard to chop down. B, it's gonna be very wet. It's gonna be hard to burn. So the practical side is you're going to want a shovel so that you can burn dung, because dung is going to be plentiful, or at least more plentiful than really any seasonable wood would be. It's going to have you have to cut down a tree and just like wait for weeks before it it's able to burn. So, you know, you gotta have fuel for warmth. You need like warmth, shelter, and food and water. You know, those four things, 4 elements of survival there. So you gotta find a potable source of water. You know, you're gonna want to have something, you know, to carry the water in, of course. Some sort of a vessel for the water. Which I suppose if you're in a plane crash, you could probably makeshift something out of airplane parts, I'm sure, or you could find something in the galley that would be suitable for those purposes. I don't think the latrine stuff, I don't think the blue water is burnable, so I don't think you can harvest that. Chris, how you doing? Did you say stranded on a desert island that is not deserted? Oh shoot, I lost it. I lost the question. Pop me another bump. Give me a bump so I can read that again. But I missed your comment there. Something about deserted versus desert. I probably said desert, but I meant deserted. Because a desert island would be a whole different set of challenges. Yeah, there you go, bump. If I had walked 100 feet or more, we found a resort. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, wait, what? Hold on. It's hard to read because I'm watching the traffic, so I'm like halfway reading. Keep it short, bump it again. Give me a bump. Have to have a comment pop up, so the comments will pop back up on the screen, because for some reason they're fading away too quickly. There we go. Bump. Did you say stranded on deserted island that is not deserted, like if I had walked on? Yeah, so like an actual deserted island, like, you know, like Gilligan's Island. Actually, this is we're specifically talking about the island in Lost, if you watched that show, but yeah, like an actual, like, there's nobody on it, uncharted island that nobody's ever set foot on, you know, in recent history. So, you know, primitive, totally primitive. I know you're a survival kind of guy, so this is like, I know this is like right up your alley. Like, these are the sorts of things you want to have. Except that it turns out that there's some weird... You can tell I'm near Long Beach Airport because the reception keeps cutting in and out. So anyway, so something more, you know, beyond the necessities, beyond the simple, you know, food, water, warmth, shelter. You know, besides the four essentials. You know, what sorts of things would you want to have? You know, like in the show, I remember they found dynamite for some reason. They found dynamite on the island, and I can't remember, like, a big, because all the nitroglycerin was like leaking out of it, and so it was, you know, something very dangerous. They couldn't, you know, if they jostled it at all, it would explode and everyone would die, and it was, but I can't remember why they needed the dynamite. You know, I can't remember what they were using the dynamite for. I don't know if I ever got that far. I do remember the guy in the vault. This is an island with plastics that wash up on, like, Wait, what? They could possibly wash up, yes. There is the big Pacific, the Great Pacific Gyre. So I'm sure plastics do wash up occasionally. So yes, there might be some action figures in there. So yeah. So you can have some action figures, yeah, some TMNT action figures. You know, you can play, you know, something to amuse yourself with, I suppose. Not quite sure. This thing it's weird today. Like the freaking comment shows up for like half a second and it goes away. kind of annoying, but that's okay. We're doing what we can do. It's been kind of a weird day. Like, I won't go into it too much, but it's been kind of like today. You ever have one of those days where it's just like, you know, like frustratingly you can't get anything done because you have so much to do, and the stuff just takes up all your time, and you can't really like deal with it, and you've got people just trying to tack on more stuff. C'est la vie, c'est la guerre. That's my job. That is my day job, which is why I would like this thing to become a thing, which is sort of becoming a thing. It's slowly becoming a thing. But yeah, the more it becomes a thing, the less I can do the real thing, and the more I can do this and entertain you people and inspire and teach and do all the fun stuff that I really enjoy doing. Is this an island that plastics wash up on? Yes. Okay. Yes. For the sake of argument, we're going to say yes. This is an island that plastics do occasionally wash up on. Well, not all the time, but we'll say occasionally. So you're gonna have to be here for a few weeks before you see anything interesting wash up on shore. But yeah, you know, I mean, it could be possible that, you know, some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures show up on the beach. Why not? Sure. Stranger things have happened, especially on the Lost Island with the smoke monster and the grizzly thing. Bring away. Yeah. So there's the connection's weird. It's on my end. It's not on your end. It's because of where I am. There's a weird sort of interference with the airport and limited connectivity with the phone. It's just this weird little spot, and YouTube is very they like to have a lot of bandwidth available for you know, HD streaming. It's like, I don't care about HD streaming, and as long as you can see me and as long as you can hear me, that makes it fine for me. Anyway, so yeah, you want to have, like, you know, your basic stuff, you know, you definitely want to have your basic stuff for, you know, building a fire and building shelter, you know, potable water, etc., etc. You're most likely going to have that stuff on the aircraft, so I'm kind of looking for more like beyond the basics of survival. So, you know, let's play this experiment a little bit further, and you know, outside of just straight up survival. Say you're the professor on Gilligan's Island, or you know, even Gilligan on Gilligan's Island. But you know, say you're on Gilligan's Island and you're going to be stranded there for 15 years. You know, what sorts of things would you want to have with you? What sorts of creature comforts? Just the creature comforts. You know, that's what we're looking for. Like me, I would love to have, you know, because it's an island, and of course I'm not going to have electricity really available to me. So I'm thinking vinyl records. I'm thinking vinyl records and a way to play them back, some kind of a stylus and some kind of a stylus and turntable. Obviously, it can't be electrical, but it could be mechanical. I mean, it's still mechanical. So, I mean, I could do like I could totally do like on Gilligan's Island and like hook it up to a bike, you know, make this little makeshift bicycle and like hook it up with a belt drive and make it turn the turntable, and I can get my exercise and listen to my music and do that. Now this is sort of the direction I'm going in. So like vinyl records and having a place to play them, a way to play them. So my vinyl collection, definitely. I don't have a huge, extensive vinyl collection, but I have enough. I have enough to get me by. Chris says he wants solar panels, a laptop, and his camera and Wi-Fi. I wish. You know, if we had all that stuff, I could build us a way to get off that island. Because you know, of course you have Wi-Fi. You know, you're connected, but we'll assume satellite internet. We'll assume satellite for that. But yeah, that's an easy way to get off. That's an easy way off the island right there. SOS! Help! It's like connect to Reddit. r/deserted island survivors, r/castaway. I'm drinking my, I gotta have tea today. Like, I'm just like worn out, just completely worn out today. I've been out in the warehouse most of the day, so it's just yeah, solar panels would be nice. That would be nice to have, because if I had solar panels and a battery, I wouldn't really need to build electricity. Now I could build a battery. You know, you could build a voltaic pile. There's plenty of salt water, and could probably find some transitional metals with which to build electrodes. You know, I mean, that's an idea. It's definitely an idea, because you got to store that energy somehow. There's got to be a way to store it, because the solar panel's only as good as daytime. So on those, you know, for night, you got to have something. There'd be an APU on the plane. So actually, yeah, the plane would have an APU on it. So you could actually use that to generate electricity. So you wouldn't necessarily need the solar panels. The solar panels is just kind of that's the easy way to do it, because you don't need you don't have to convert mechanical energy into electricity. You're just converting sunlight, which is plentiful. You got plenty of that, and it provides a little bit of shade. So that's a pretty good idea, actually, is to have the solar panels. One of these days, aircraft will be equipped with solar panels on the wings, so maybe we'll be able to harvest those off the craft if they're not destroyed by the crash. But that would be fun. That would be fun to have some solar panels there. Have a little TV. Watch some satellite TV. You gotta decode it, but it can be done. It can be done. You got enough time. Plenty of time. So what else? What else would be interesting to have? Of course, I know if you had your camera and if you had your camera and computer to edit with, you're gonna be vlogging from the island. So I'm here on the island again. I'm gonna hack up some wood and I mean, why not? Why not vlog from the island? It's a way to get exposure, right? People will be like, don't rescue him! Don't rescue him! I love watching this vlog! I love watching this vlog! Don't get rescued! Anyway. So vinyl records, equipment to vlog with, solar panels, you know, for electricity and so forth. What else? What else do we want to have? What else can we have on this? This is becoming less Lost and more Gilligan's Island. I like it. I like this. I appreciate this. You know, if we're gonna have Gilligan's Island, you know, let's have Marianne and Ginger. Why not? We can go ahead and put Marianne and Ginger on the island. Because I'm chauvinistic like that, I guess. I don't know, but. Hang on a minute. It's decent time to go ahead and plug my website, because I'm transitioning freeways now. Decent time to go ahead and plug the website, AirborneSurfer.com, for all your adventitious geekery needs. AirborneSurfer.com. You can find everything there. Freeway Forum is only here on YouTube. Well, it's also on Facebook. Wednesdays on Facebook. But it's primarily here on YouTube. So YouTube is first on Thursdays, and then the following Wednesday is the responses on Facebook. Working on the Facebook page, the fan page. Working on that. That'll be available soon. But in the meantime, AirborneSurfer.com. You can go to AirborneSurfer.com. You can click the links on the right-hand side. There's links there, affiliate links and advertising and so forth. That helps support what I do here and gets me actually better. It pays better than the YouTube ads. So definitely check those out. And so you check all that stuff out. I got all kinds of how-tos and interesting articles and things like that over there on AirborneSurfer.com. So please check it out. Anyway, so back to it. So yeah, we're doing less Lost and more Gilligan's Island here, which is fine by me. I've seen all of Gilligan's Island. I've only seen the first season of Lost, so that tells you where my priorities are. But I love Gilligan's Island, by the way. I do love that show. It's so campy and silly and dumb, but I love it. That's a show that has not been... that's a show that hasn't been rebooted, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm going to go ahead and say it's a good thing. Let me know in the comments if you think that Gilligan's Island... Should Gilligan's Island be rebooted? There's our second question for today. There's our follow-up. Should Gilligan's Island be rebooted? Yes or no, and why? I think it would be interesting to see a reboot of Gilligan's Island. I don't think it would do very well. I remember TBS did they did the real Gilligan's Island, and that was interesting. That was a fun little show. It was like a tongue-in-cheek version of Survivor, and I enjoyed that. It was like Survivor, but it wasn't being serious. So I really enjoyed that show. I watched it, a couple of seasons. It was fun to watch too, and actually, one of the guys that was on that show, one of the Gilligans on that show, he trying to remember what show he was on. Was it Guts, or was it? It was either Guts or it was Legend of the Hidden Temple. It was one of the two shows, one of those game shows on Nickelodeon, and he set the record on that show. I think it was Guts, and set the record for the aggro crag, and it was really cool. And I emailed the guy, and we exchanged emails a couple of times. And I was like, hey, if you're ever in Atlanta, hit me up, and I'll treat you to a beer. And he said, yeah, next time I'm in Atlanta. He's from California, so he's not coming to Atlanta, not for any reason. But that was years ago. Yeah, so the real Gilligan's Island, that was this reality show, like I said, like a tongue-in-cheek version of Survivor. And it was a lot of fun. And so there was that. But I think a actual sitcom reboot of Gilligan's Island would be interesting, with modern sensibilities, or postmodern sensibilities, really, at this point. So you would have to hand wave MacGuffin everything away, because we have ELTs, we have transmitter beacons, we have emergency beacons, we have GPS, we have all this stuff now, satellite phones, all this kind of survival equipment now, technology that's consumer grade technology that anybody could have on them and easily get rescued. So you have to sort of hand wave MacGuffin that away in order to set up the show to make it somewhat believable. I'm not sure it should be believable. Of course, Gilligan's Island was not believable either, but it made sense in its own little world. There was a level of sensibility to it, and it had its rules, and it didn't break its rules. There were rules people could show up to the island, people could leave the island, but there had to be a way that the castaways got screwed out of being rescued. There had to be some mechanism to where it made sense that they did not get rescued. And that was part of the fun of the show. That was part of the tension of the show, and it was part of the driving force to it. And that was something I really enjoyed about Gilligan's Island, because it is a silly premise. It is an incredibly stupid premise, but I love it, and I think it would be fun. I don't know if it's available on any of the. It might be on Netflix. Check it out, Chris. I think it might be on Netflix. I'm not entirely certain. I have the whole series. I have digital copies of the whole series. You could if it's not on Netflix, you could probably buy a digital copy on Amazon or possibly find it on Amazon Prime. But I'm sure you can probably get it on iTunes too. But yeah, I have digital copies of all the episodes and the movies. Oh God, the movies! Oh, they're terrible. They're so terrible. Rescue from Gilligan's Island was okay, but the 2 sequels, yes, there were 2 sequels to Rescue from Gilligan's Island, and they were like, one was actually supposed to be a backdoor pilot, because the Harlem Globetrotters were in everything by the like mid to late 70s. The Harlem Globetrotters were in everything. So like they were trying to backdoor pilot a Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island series, which thankfully didn't go anywhere. But they did do a movie. They did a movie of the Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island, and it was terrible. It's everything you would expect it to be and less. So I don't recommend that one. But unless you just, unless you're the kind of person that likes watching terribleness for the sake of watching terribleness, which I am, so I have seen it, but I would not watch it again. Unless I were watching it, unless I were like, drinking or doing, well, I don't do, illicit stuff, but yeah, if I were sitting around drinking with a bunch of buddies and watching terrible movies for the sake of watching terrible movies, because that's what we do, I would give it another watch, because it is terrible and it's completely laugh worthy. It's horrible, but yeah. So let me know down in the doobly-doo, because I'm running out of time here. I'm running out of freeway. Let me know down in the doobly-doo what sorts of creature comforts would you want to have on your deserted island, and let me know if Gilligan's Island should be rebooted for a postmodern audience. Those are our discussion questions for this week, and I appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you showing up. Appreciate you watching, especially you guys that watch live. Definitely appreciating that one. Yeah, real quick, Chris, drop your channel down in the comments, and I will make sure to pin it to the top and get people to check you out, because you've been pretty solid here last couple of weeks. So I got a siren coming in, but out of the way. Anyway, so yeah, let me know, and yeah, I'll put your channel there. And what else? Oh yeah, and so Thursdays 5 o'clock YouTube Live, Freeway Forum. Wednesdays Facebook Live, Freeway Forum. Facebook page coming forthwith. Everything else is at AirborneSurfer.com. Follow along on Twitter at AirborneSurfer. My name is Atari. This is the Freeway Forum. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you watching. Those of you that watch live, fantastic kudos. Drop me a like. Share this with your friends. Those of you that are watching on the replay, I do appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your comments down in the doobly-doo so we can keep this conversation party going. Until next time, y'all. Until next time, tally-ho. Okay, tally-ho, y'all.